All right, so in the last video, I showed you how to get started collecting data from a PASCO sensor. So we needed to get our computer set up with the right version of Python with the right library. Need to do the pip install Python to install the package. But once we have all of that done, we can start using our sensors. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to interact with a code node. So I'm going to first start off by creating a new file. And I'm going to save that file. So I'm going to go to File, Save As. And I'm going to save it on the desktop as code.Node example.py. The .py is very important. Again, that's so we know that it's a Python file. And once I do that, here I have my file saved. The logo just verifies that Visual Studio recognizes it as a Python file. So let me go ahead and now just copy the next example from our GitHub page. If I scroll down here, example 3 is working with the code node. So the simplest thing, I can just copy this by clicking on the button or highlighting and copy pasting the code, or highlighting and copying the code. I'm going to just paste it into our example here. And let's just walk through it line by line just to show you what it all does. Again, the automatic coloring here, this was done with the Python extension that we installed here on the left. So let me actually make one little change to this code. You don't need that. So once we copy the code into here, let's just go through this line by line. So because we're connecting to a code node, I'm going to import this code node device. It's called a class. So I have a variable called code node equals code node device. So anytime I'm interacting with the code node, I'm going to be using this variable. So again, let's first start off by connect by ID. And I already have my ID here, which is the 481782. And then this is pretty much a loop. And it's going to say, hey, this loop is going to happen until I press button 1. So that's what this means. While button 1 is equal to 0, meaning it's not pressed. Let's go through this code. Let's read the data for the brightness. The brightness is using the light sensor here. And if the brightness is less than 2, then turn on the RGB LED. So we're setting the red, green, and blue values to 100. The range is 0 to 255 for this. So 100 is just somewhere in the middle, so it's not too bright. Otherwise, we want to turn the LED off. So that's what this code does. It's pretty much nightlight example. And once we press button 1, we want the code to end, and we're going to just scroll this text in the array. And what the array is, this LED array here. That's what the array is. So pretty much we're scrolling the text goodbye. And then we reset the code node, and we're done. So let me go ahead and run this code. And you can see at the bottom here, it's running. We can see that because the cursor is all the way over to the left here. My code node is on. So let me go ahead and let's test this out. Let me cover the light sensor here. And yeah, we can see that our night light is working. When it gets dark, the LED turns on. And let's go ahead and let's test out stopping the code. So I'm going to press button 1. And here on the screen, it says goodbye. And that's it. Our cursor is no longer on the left. It's ready for a new command, and that's how we know we're done with the code. So again, that's just a quick, a little bit more advanced example. We're reading data here, and we're setting an RGB LED value. And a question you may have is, what if you want to see what measurements the code node has? I mean, here I told it read data button 1, read data brightness. So let me show you that here. The command for that it can be found again on the GitHub page. I'm going to scroll up to the top here. And here are available commands. So I want to get the measurement list. And it says it returns all the measurements that a device has. So let's type in code.Node.get measurement list. Okay, and I need these parentheses afterwards every time I'm calling a function. So what that does is it's going to show it's going to bring a list back. But in order for the user to see what that list is, they actually need to print it. So let's put a print statement and wrap this block of code into parentheses. And I'm actually going to just erase this for now. And I'm going to save the file. So all this should do is it should connect to the device, get the measurement list, and display it down here in the terminal. So anytime you type in a print command, it's going to display the output at the bottom here. So let's go ahead and hit the Run Python button. And we'll see at the bottom here, it looks like it's working, it's connecting. And once it's connected, here we can see these are all of the available measurements. So if I wanted to, for example, display the temperature measurement from the code node, then I would do code.Node.read data, and then parentheses, I would put temperature. And I can also do code.Node.read data, and in parentheses, I can put, let's pick tilt angle X. The case of this has to match exactly the way here. So I have to have a capital T, capital A, and a capital X here at on the bottom. Again, this command just reads the data. It doesn't show the user. You actually need to wrap a print statement around this in order to see the data. And let's go ahead and run this code one more time. So what we see here, it should print our measurement list, it should print the temperature value, and it should print the tilt angle. And we see we have a little Bluetooth device error. Let me actually, that means it was just an error connecting. So let's try the code one more time. Again, make sure my temperature sensor's on. I'm gonna hold it at some odd angle. And there we go. We have our measurement list, we have the temperature, and we have the tilt angle. And again, that's just how to, a little bit more of an advanced example showing you some more advanced commands, but that's how you get data from some more advanced sensor. This get measurement list works for any Python sensor, so not just the code node. So I could have done that with the temperature sensor, I could have done that with the smart card, weather sensor, anything to get that list. So yeah. If you have any questions, check our GitHub page out. You should hopefully be able to find the answer there. Also, you can check, I'm going to scroll to the top here, our Python examples repository. A repository is a collection of files, and in this repository, you should be able to just click on some of these examples and maybe get some hints or some ideas on how to do your own custom project. One last thing I want to show you is prompted measurements example. So if I click on this prompted measurements, what this does is it pretty much like can walk a user. If you copy this code, it can walk a user through how to connect to a sensor and get measurements. So let me go ahead and copy this. And we'll create a new file. So I'm going to go to File, New File, and paste this here. So let's save this file. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and prompted example.py. So without doing anything, I'm going to, let's see, I'll turn on my code node, I'll turn on a temp sensor here, and let me go ahead and run this code. So we see here at the bottom, scanning for available sensors. Again, this came from this line here. So this is a more open-ended type of scan where it's going to show you any PASCO sensor. And here I can, scan for available sensor. Let's say I want to connect to the code node again. So I'll click option 1, enter. It says it's connecting. And I'm going to make this terminal a little bit bigger because the next thing it's going to say, hey, these are the available measurements. Which one do you want? And I'm going to say, I want the, let's do brightness, number 2. So select 2 and I'll press enter. How many brightness readings would you like to connect? Let's type in 6. How many seconds between readings? I can put 1, or I can even put 0.5. That'll work. So there you go. It tells the reading and the unit. And again, I covered the sensor with my finger, so that's why it started decreasing. But there it is. There's a simple way to output, connect to any sensor and get the measurements and display them. So I hope that helps you in your future projects. Thank you again for watching. Good luck.